In this video, we're going to look at the anxiety overdrive from the new firmware update 2.1. Alright, so I'm not sure if you have anxiety or just plain OCD, but you can kind of get what this pedal is based on just by the look of it. We have 3 knobs and a high power and a low power. So that's producing a nice amp-like overdrive that is similar to the OCD from Full Tone. And that's basically what this pedal is all about. So we have a level, a drive, a tone, and the tone is a low pass filter. So when the tone is all the way up on 100%, you are getting 0 reduction of the high end. Then as you bring that down, you're actually rolling off the high end. Alright, so that's how that works. So if you have it at 50% and thinking that that's the neutral point, well, you're wrong. 100% is neutral, meaning no high end is being reduced, and all the way down is cutting off all the high end and making the lows pass above that filter point. Okay? Now the low and the high, I've always kind of never knew what this was really doing, but I do know that the sound is changing somehow. So we're just going to experiment with that. That might be a low power, high power thing. I never really knew what it was. So what we're going to do is have the tone all the way up. Let's experiment with the drive down a little bit and the level up, and let's just see what happens here. So here it is, bypass with the clean tone of the PV512 clean sound. Alright, and here's the anxiety overdrive. Let's kick it on to the bridge pickup. Alright, so it has a nice full sound that reproduces the tone of a cranked up amplifier, which is what most good overdrives do anyways, and this is no exception here. So with the drive even down even further, we still get a nice overall tone. So remember, if you want full high-end frequencies, you need to keep the tone rolled up to 100%. And then the level, let's bypass the level, see what happens. Alright, so we want to keep that level around where it's neutral, or just pushing the volume a little bit. So let's crank it up to 80, see what happens. Alright, so we have a similar volume level there. Now let's go ahead and crank up the drive and see what happens. Alright, cool. And let's crank it up all the way. Alright, so a little too much for my taste. So let's bring it back down to around the 30% range here. And if I remember correctly, when I owned the OCD, I never really did have the drive up too high, because it did overdrive pretty well at lower settings. So if you want to use this overdrive for some good blues sounds, you can do that. Alright, there you go. Let's go ahead and push it with the JRC and see how that responds. Alright, there you go. So that is the anxiety overdrive based on the OCD from Full Tone, and that is new in the firmware update 2.1 from Headrush. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.